Welcome everyone. My name is Michelle Gill. I'm the Senior Engineering Manager over the Manage stage. I'm here with Hannah. We're both going to introduce ourselves, but we wanted to just have this chat about the authentication group really quickly, and so we thought we'd record it. I am responsible for all the groups within Manage, and so that includes this group, the authentication group. And Hannah, if you want to give your introduction.
Sure. Hey, everyone. I'm Hannah Sutor. I'm a product manager for the Authentication and Authorization group here at GitLab. I work closely on a daily basis with the engineering team here. I also work closely with customers, kind of set the vision for the team, and then also collaborate with engineering on what we're going to actually do each milestone as a team.
Yes, very exciting. So Hannah, since this group is hiring and there are a lot of team members that are already contributing to this area, and also this area is very broad, I would just wanted to talk to you today about kind of what you find exciting about this area for the group as a whole. And then I can speak a little bit about some of the challenges that I see, good or bad. And maybe we can inspire some new team members, dispel any myths for our existing team members, and kind of share our vision with everyone.
Awesome. All right. Well, first, I know our name is pretty descriptive, but let's just dive a little bit into what exactly the Authentication and Authorization Team is. If you kind of want to give like feature level technical overview, I'll do more of the higher level, how it ties into the stage.
Yeah, sure. So this group, the Authentication and Authorization group, like you said, it's very similar to how it sounds, but focused on things like granular user permissions, single sign-on, SAML, account recovery, multi-factor authentication, other things like that. They're distributed across mainly Europe, some America, some APAC, and this team size is about 6 backend engineers, 1 front-end engineer, and of course the engineering manager.
Okay. Yes, awesome. So we're part of the manage stage. That's where our team rolls up to. And what the manage stage is sort of everything you need to manage your GitLab workspace. What I think is kind of important about it is that it's the first impression people get when they use GitLab. So we kind of need to get it right. And the way I see it is that we provide a toolkit for the people who are setting up GitLab for their companies, provisioning users, assigning roles, putting people into groups and projects. We provide a toolkit for them to most effectively strike that balance between developer accessibility and experience and security, because those two things are often in conflict. So it's our responsibility to empower our system admins to be able to set up GitLab in a way that works for them and their company.
Yeah, and I love what you said about first impression. What do you find exciting about this group?
I think it's super exciting to be part of the digital identity industry. I feel like we're just at the infancy of it, and we have the opportunity to shape it going forward. And I think it's so much more than usernames and passwords and SAML provisioning and those things that it's been in the past. And it's a lot more about ethics, accessibility, how do we make identity something inclusive? And I truly believe that, you know, being in this industry, we have the opportunity to drive it forward and shape it. What's exciting about it for you?
Very well said. This is actually one of my favorite groups because unlike a lot of groups at GitLab, not all groups, but a lot of groups at GitLab have a singular focus. For example, the merge request page, there's a group that owns that. If you pull up our repository view, there's a group that owns that. And the authentication group sort of sits on top of all of that. And so they're able to make a really huge impact just by kind of doing their everyday work. It's like a horizontal slice. And so you do get to make a lot of impact on many areas of the product. The engineers on this team as well are highly skilled. That only grows the longer you're in this area. You can't know everything about this area. And so you're just kind of leveling up. At the end of the day, it's still just Ruby and Vue code, just like any other group at GitLab. Sometimes it's more than that, for example, external service providers and things like that. But for the most part, it's really not too complex, but you get a lot of experience that can help you in any industry. Permissions, authentication, all of that stuff is relevant almost anywhere. And especially at the scale of GitLab, I think that those are some really exciting things.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just on a more team sense of what's exciting, I feel like if you have an interest about remote work and how that works, our team is completely distributed and we're really asynchronous. So if you have a curiosity about like, how can that possibly work effectively, I think this team is a great place to kind of see where that's really working.
Yeah.
Well, let me speak. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I want to understand more about where you see the vision of this group.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to mention, so people potentially have an idea of what they might be working on. So in the next 3 to 6 months, our effort is really going to be focused around customizable roles and permissions. Currently, we have 5 out-of-the-box roles in GitLab, and those are set with sort of static permissions that you can't change. And speaking sort of back to that balance of security and accessibility, our customers want the ability to define these roles for themselves, mainly in the interest of, I don't want to give people any more permissions than they need. So really getting granular on our permissions and our RBAC model and allowing administrators to define their own permissions. Longer term, we're going to provide even more tools in that toolkit for system admins, especially for enterprise system admins who may have thousands or tens of thousands of users and need a way to effectively manage those, and also keep an eye on the credentials those users have and how they may be being used. Provide some monitoring tools around, this is abnormal behavior with a certain credential. Do you want to do something about it? And things like that. And also, I'm excited about passwordless. That's recently gotten a lot of traction from the big tech companies. We currently support passwordless with FIDO, but I think there's plenty of other ways we can really integrate passwordless into our code base and kind of make the old paradigm of username and password a thing of the past. Yeah. So we've talked a lot about sort of what's exciting and what's the vision, but we want to be real in this conversation, right? Is there anything that you would think might deter someone from wanting to join the group, or any hesitations you've heard?
Yeah, I think we just talked about a lot of it. We talked about vision, opportunities, these like exciting challenges that the group is able to level up and be skilled at. That's intimidating, and I understand why it's intimidating. Maybe some of that pressure may be perceived, and so if you're someone who maybe struggles with imposter syndrome, or you know, what if you make a huge mistake and it impacts everything? You know, those are real fears that I understand. And kind of going back to, this group is really not at its core all that unique. I'm sorry, I just need to clear my throat. At its core, it's not really all that unique, but if you perceive that pressure, I think that it can get to you really easily. What if I don't know about FIDO, or how to implement these things, or how much am I going to need to learn? And I think that there's an aspect there. I think there is a real pressure though from this group. You've talked a lot about security and how important that is for the future roadmap, the existing roadmap as well. If we get a security incident for an authentication feature, or authentication or authorization feature, it's critical. And so a security incident in one area may not be as impactful. But going back to kind of the team and how skilled they are, that's really a team topic. They're there to help you and work as a team and collaborate on those things, share the load for those, and solve those problems together.
Yeah, thanks for acknowledging some of those very real things, because I can definitely see how intimidating some of those things would seem. So I think it's important that we do acknowledge that. All right, well, I hope this was interesting and maybe inspired some interest in the team and dispelled some of those myths around our team. And I really enjoyed this. Do you have anything else to add, Michelle?
No, this was great. Thank you so much.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Bye.